Morning, Year 4. Today we're going to carry on with our story of King Arthur and his knights from where you left off last week. And today we're starting on page 71, and it's the next book or next part of this book. But if you remember, they're actually written in different books. So this is called the Book of Three Worthies. And the prologue, the bit at the beginning, if I read to you, it's on page 71. It says, "Just what are worthies, you might wonder? Good question. They were three very excellent, honourable lords of King Arthur's court. So there was Merlin the Wise, there was Sir Pelleas, and Sir Gawain. And in this book, they're going to tell their stories one by one. So today we're going to start off with the story of Merlin, which starts on page 72. So we're going to read part of chapter 1 together this morning. And we're going to recap on some of the characters you've heard about so far in the story. And when I'm reading and when you're following it, I would like you to make a note of any adjectives that you hear. So describing words. So we're going to hear about some different characters, and I'm going to give you a task to do based on that in a little while. So chapter 1, it says how Morgana Le Fay planned evil against King Arthur and sent a young girl to trick the wizard Merlin, and how Vivian planned Merlin's downfall. So let's just pause there a minute and think, what do we think is going to happen in this part of the story? So we're learning about Merlin, and it says something about his downfall. Now, a downfall is something not very good at all. So Merlin, if you remember, is very wise and powerful, and he's going to have some kind of downfall. So he's going to come to some trouble. And we know that Morgana Le Fay planned evil against King Arthur. So we know that she's involved as well. So I'm going to start reading in a moment. I've just put a picture up of Morgana Le Fay. And so every time that you hear something that will help you to describe her and think about her character, then just jot it down in your book. So we're going to start reading on page 72. Merlin has already been mentioned as a helper to King Arthur, but he also had a story of his own. The story of a man so wise, yet so weak, that he finally tricked himself. Listen to how that happened and learn. So we know that King Arthur is going to come to some kind of trouble. In a long and dangerous battle with 5 enemy kings, Arthur lost 8 great knights. After a period of sadness, Arthur had to choose other men to fill the 8 empty seats of the round table. And that was people wanted to do that. It was, they felt very special if they were chosen to be part of King Arthur's court. He decided he would choose 4 old and skilled knights and 4 new knights. And so he carried on until only 1 new knight spot remained. So everybody wanted to take that spot. Over this spot he was torn between 2 knights, King Pellinore's son, Sir Tor, and his half-sister Morgana Le Fay's son, Sir Bordemagus. After much careful thought, Arthur decided that Sir Tor's greater deeds in chivalry made him the better choice. So he'd actually done more good. So Sir Tor was a better person for Arthur's court than Morgana Le Fay's son. Now, do you think she's going to be very happy about this? No, she's not, because she's King Arthur's half-sister, if you remember. So she might think that her son deserves to be on the round table more. And look at this picture that I've put on the slide here, and it shows how she is portrayed. Now, we don't know exactly what she looks like, but the imagery is very dark, isn't it? At this announcement, Morgana Le Fay leapt up from a nearby seat. "What?" she cried. "You would choose Sir Tor? over Sir Bordomagus, my son and your own nephew? Arthur apologised, but stood firm to his decision. He felt it had been the right choice. Morgana Le Fay and Bordomagus remained angry, however, and they both left the kingdom. Bordomagus went to seek different adventures, and Morgana Le Fay went to seek revenge from afar. Arthur, not knowing her plans, sent his half-sister off in style to the Isle of Avalon. Morgana Le Fay had certain magical powers, which Merlin had taught her when she was a beautiful young girl. One thing he had not taught her was how to see into the future. Nevertheless, she knew for certain that she could never get even with Arthur if Merlin was around. Now, let's just stop there. So we know that this part of the story is all about Merlin, and we've just found out that Morgana Le Fay knows that as long as Merlin is around, she is never going to be able to get revenge from King Arthur. So what I'd like to do is make a prediction. How do you think she might plot her revenge? Write a couple of sentences. What do we know about Morgana? And write about what you think and how you think she might take her revenge. So just pause the video while you do that now. Okay, so we're going to find out her plan now. But Morgana Le Fay had a plan. She found a beautiful young girl named Vivian, who was without any heart. So that means she didn't really feel, it wasn't that she literally had no heart, it meant that she didn't feel things. She wasn't a very nice person. She was cold and cruel to all who didn't give her her way. Vivian also, Morgana Le Fay knew, greatly wanted wisdom. She wanted to know things, she wanted knowledge. I can help you get the knowledge you seek, Morgana promised. She explained that Merlin, with all of his amazing powers, also had a large weakness, his love of beauty. Morgana also revealed Merlin's biggest secret. Although he could see into anyone else's future, he was blind to his own. I will trick Merlin with my beauty, Vivian swore. I'm going to make him teach me everything, and once I have all of his wisdom and magical powers, I will cast a spell on him so he will be made powerless. It is wonderfully evil, said Morgana Le Fay, smiling. So she's feeling quite happy with this, isn't she? She knows that there's now a plan for Merlin's downfall. And if you remember, she wants Merlin out of the way so that she can get to King Arthur. So have a look at any adjectives that you've written or anything that you can think of that helps to describe Morgana Le Fay. Think about what images you've got in your mind. And then use the adjectives you've collected to draw a picture of the scene from this chapter. And use details from the story to annotate or make notes on the drawing. Then, can you write a paragraph to describe what's in your picture? Try to use descriptive language. So, you might need to reread the first part of that chapter that we've just read together, collect evidence about Morgana Le Fay, and you're going to draw a picture of a scene from the story. You're going to use details from the story to make notes about your picture, to label it, and then write a paragraph to describe what is going on in your picture using descriptive language. Good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow.